Hey everyone, Bruno here from Youth Network, and today I'm going to be talking about gap year. Today's video is going to include what a gap year is, pros and cons, and any of my tips for you to have a successful gap year. So first of all, what is a gap year? A gap year is a year that you decide to take off between studies. A lot of people in the UK found that taking a gap year has actually helped them improve their studies and their educational experience. So a gap year might definitely be something for you. Let's look at some pros and cons. On the pros, of course, you have trying new things, learning new experiences, and meeting new people. Gap years tend to be really important because they actually help you be sure of the path that you want to take. Personally, when I took a gap year, I was really able to experience the world in a different perspective, kind of be away from education, which really benefited me because now I'm fully determined into my career path and I know exactly what I want. Of course, like I said, you get a different life experience and you'll be able to meet new people, which is great because everyone has a different experience with their life and you can learn from them and you can learn new skills, you can adapt to different environments, and you come back a more richer and fuller person. Let's look at some of the cons. In some, finances, motivation, and planning can be things that kind of hold you back in your gap year. Finances are really important because sometimes people struggle to make ends meet or you might not have a job, so it's very important for you to carefully think about how you're going to fund your gap year instead of just jumping right into it. This can be maybe work before and save up some money, or you can even work during. This is a pro tip. Traveling can be very cheap and a lot of people find that you can work and travel at the same time. Like there's different houses and different hotels that will actually let you work there in exchange for stay. Your motivation to go back to studying can be something that's really harmed by the gap year. You might kind of find that you enjoy being away from education too much, so try to have this goal in your mind. Why do you want to do a gap year? Are you doing it so you can gain new experiences? Are you doing it so you can figure out what you want to do with your life? At the end of the day, make sure your end goal is really set in your mind and then you plan backwards. So for example, if you want to take a gap year because you want to get new experiences, think about what kind of experiences you want to get and how you want to feel at the end, and then think about how all these different experiences fit in between where you are now at planning and where you will be at the end. Lastly, planning might be very necessary for a gap year. Sometimes you struggle and you might feel a bit overwhelmed because for a lot of people, they'll take a gap year right after they've come off of education. So this will probably be one of the first time in your life where you'll be truly independent with nothing to bound you back. So try to plan things. Plan whether you're going to be working, plan where you're going to be traveling, and make sure to do your research. This is very important, and especially ask questions. Ask people who've taken gap years like me, or just Google it online. There's a lot of information there to help you and guide you during this year. Okay, let's go over some tips. So something that's been really important for me during this gap year is to make sure that I'm in touch with my education. Because I do intend on going back to education at the end of the year, I make sure to do some research every now and then, to be in touch with my old lecturers, just so I'm familiar with the educational facilities that I might be going in. I'm also always looking at different degrees, different universities, because this will kind of get it in my head that I might not be in education right now, but it is definitely where I'm headed. Again, one of the major tips that I'm going to give you is to plan. This is really important, okay? Because if you just go in head first and you don't really think about what you're going to do, you might crash and burn. I'm just kidding. It won't be that dramatic, but you'll definitely need some planning, just to keep yourself relaxed and keep yourself with an end goal in mind. Lastly, the one tip I want to give you is make sure you have fun. Gap years are not just about kind of getting new experiences or learning new things. They're also about a stage in your life where you'll be able to experiment with yourself and your individuality. So try new styles, try new foods, and make sure you're laughing and smiling throughout it. You'll enjoy it way more. And for my last tip, your parents might not necessarily agree with you having a gap year. So it's just important for you to lay out this information for them so they can better understand you and where you're coming from. I'm sure with a little bit of convincing, they'll be on the same page as you. At the end of the day, you'll be the person most affected by your choice, so think it through. According to Teaching Abroad Direct, a lot of people have taken a gap year between 2019 and 2020, and these numbers are increasing. On top of that, 66% of these people have said that a gap year has actively helped them pursue their educational career. I hope my tips and my pros and cons helped you today, and if you're really struggling with deciding on whether or not you should take a gap year, drop us a message on Instagram or email us. The contact information is below, and please remember to like, subscribe, and share this video if it was helpful to you. I will be seeing you soon, and this is Bruno signing out.